welcome to episode 67, part 1 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. As usual, we'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as we're still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Demi Duffield.
And I'm Ngaro Kamuya.
So to start off part 1, we finally have a feature game.
After 2 weeks.
You know, Homeboyz versus Harlequins at the Jamhuri Showgrounds. 12-11 to Homeboyz. I can't help but feel that honestly Homeboyz deserve to win that game.
No, they did deserve to win that game. Tries by a try by Dalmas Chitui and conversion and a penalty by Johnston Olindi. Quins, of course, had the try by Colin Sekesa and 2 penalties by Brian Beckham. Everyone expected that Homeboyz were going to whitewash Quins, especially because of what we've seen Quins do during the Kenya Cup season. No one has really been impressed. I don't even think Quins themselves have been impressed
with their performance,
throughout the season. So everyone expected that Homeboyz were going to really hammer Quins. So the changes on the Quins technical bench is evident, with Joseph Kanyeda, of course, taking over the head coach roles. That hasn't been confirmed, but we can see from the demeanor of the Quins side, he was the one backing up the instructions and everything.
And they're definitely playing better.
They're playing better. So you can see the changes to the technical bench taking effect. I mean, we've always said Joseph Kanyeda is one of the more technical brains we have in the Kenya rugby scene. So Quins started with intent. Brian Beckham, of course, converting a penalty. Homeboyz responded quickly. Dalmas Chitui with a try. And then it was Johnston Olindi and Brian Beckham trading penalties after that. The wet conditions didn't make it easy for anyone.
At all.
Yeah, it didn't make it easy for anyone. Of course, I mean, when it rains, what makes rugby interesting in Kenya is that we don't really play a tight game. It's more of an open game plan, and when it rains, then I'm trying to look for the word, but anyway, when it rains, it confines everyone to
it forces you to play a tight game.
To play a tight game. So we didn't see a lot of open play game, and we didn't see a lot of big runs. I had hoped to see. We haven't seen Joshua Chisanga playing too much. We had hoped to see a bit more of that. I think the lack of patience from Quins cost them a try, which definitely would have won them the game in the last few minutes. They were a bit hurried in their decisions, and as a result, of course, there's a turnover. The officiating was quite suspect. There were a couple of calls. I mean, we were sat there and there was a breakdown situation where we were like, look, there's something wrong that has happened there, and the referee did not call it. He wasn't quick to the breakdowns, and most of the problems really happened at the breakdown, and we did not see him making a couple of those calls.
I mean, in his defense though, I mean, it's muddy, so it's hard for him to run as well.
But at the end of the day, the game needs to be refed, just the same way the game needs to be played. So you have to adapt to the situation. It's funny, by the way, what we're discussing just during the game, and we were saying how 90% of the players had blades on as opposed to studs. Despite the conditions. It's unfortunate, but that's exactly what happened. But a couple of guys played well. I think Tony Mutai for Quins at second row, and at second row, yes, he had a decent game. Tony has been one of the few consistent players at Quins.
Yeah, throughout the season. Seasons.
Every time I meet him, I always tell him Chuma ya Kitambo. I call him Chuma ya Kitambo. But yeah, he's a very consistent. He had a very decent game. I think about, from Quins, of course, Tony Mutai. I think about the introduction of Kenya Simbas captain, Wilson Kopondo. Kopo had some solid runs. He had a few decent plays at the breakdown where he was able to cause a turnover.
He definitely did what you're supposed to do coming off the bench.
Exactly. He did give them some oomph, right? He's still showing that he has it, if on a good day. Herman Humwa, Peter Misango, the back row, they did have a good game. I didn't think Ronald Msaja had a decent game at 8th man. Homeboyz, Joshua Chisanga, Dalmas Chitui, Max Kangeri had a very good game. Johnston Olindi at number 10 had a very good game. So all in all, at the end of the day, I did think Homeboyz did grind out the win, and kudos to Homeboyz. On the other hand, had Quins had been a bit more patient, we would have been talking about Nondis versus Quins in the quarterfinals. But all in all, yes, Homeboyz did deserve the win, and just it was fair. They're the ones who've played the decent rugby over the season. It was just fair that they go through.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we also had the other games
Yeah.
for the pre-quarterfinals. The only game that was played, however, was Black Blood versus Mombasa, 25-3. I think we expected that result.
Yes.
Then we had Strathmore versus Nakuru, which didn't kick off. So that's, it's going to be confirmed. We don't know whether they'll play, whether they won't play, whether Nakuru will get a walkover.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, well, hopefully the game will be on at some point.
Yeah.
Before the quarterfinals. And then there was Kissi versus Mwamba, where Mwamba got a bye because Kissi withdrew.
Yeah, withdrew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a mention on the Strathmore versus Nakuru game. The issue was that the five had not been marked.
Yep.
And Nakuru, I mean, let's put it this way: the five had not been marked at 4 p.m., but at 4:20 it had been marked. And Nakuru were adamant about not playing the game. Why, I do not know. Look, it was just 20 minutes late. Just play the game. They would still have been late at 6:30. Just finish the game. So I hear that had it been a Kenya Cup fixture, then of course Nakuru would have been given a walkover. But this is knockout rugby. And the issue is going before the union in the course of the week, and the union is going to decide what's going to happen. I would like to see the game played at the very least, because look, you don't travel from Nakuru to come to Nairobi then
To not play.
just because of marking a 5. Fine, look, it was done at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. So it's the most unfortunate thing, but the union is going to decide within the course of the week about how to handle that game, how to handle that issue.
So we have the quarterfinals on the 21st of April. So Mwamba will play. No, let's not start with that one.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Impala fixture.
Yeah.
Obviously, the opponents are going to be confirmed during the week.
Yeah.
Nondies play Homeboyz. And then our feature game, obviously, is KCB versus Mwamba.
Yeah.
How do you think those games will go? Well, and Cabras versus Black Blood as well.
Yeah.
How do you think those games will go?
Let me start with Nondies versus Homeboyz, which always turns out to be a very entertaining fixture. I don't know why. And Nondies always up their game whenever they're playing Homeboyz.
Maybe because they have the same home ground. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. But I don't think they're going to have enough firepower to beat Homeboyz. I think Homeboyz are going to come out on top. Impala versus whoever they play, we can't call it right now. But anyway, in all honesty, whoever goes through, I think Impala are still going to win. Cabras versus Black Blood, that's an obvious one. Cabras are going to win. And our feature game, KCB versus Mwamba. I'd like it to be an entertaining game. I'd like it to be a game of, a competitive game. However, KCB are just too strong for Mwamba. I don't see Mwamba mounting any sort of challenge to KCB, and I think KCB are going to comfortably win that.
Yeah. Although I'd like to see that game. I mean, in the sense that, when you're, no offense to Mwamba, but when you're going to play a team that you're likely to lose to, you might as well give it your all.
True. You might as well give it your all, but the few Mwamba games you've watched, there was one that was Impala versus Mwamba was a very entertaining game, and I think they did put in work. Unfortunately for me, I look at the previous season, the 2016-2017 season, and the impressive show that Mwamba put on, and everyone was hoping that they were going to capitalize on it, and unfortunately they did not. So we've not seen that this year. And as you're saying, yes, you want them to give it their all, but are they in the mental state of doing that? You don't get that feeling. So again, no disrespect to Mwamba, but I just think KCB are too strong.
Well, I want to watch which game rather people are going to watch, but come for our game.
It's a better game. It's the best game, out of the four.
Also remember, you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Janine Madofio.
And I'm Narok Amuya.
See you in part 2.